June edition of the Lewisville Town Council. So glad you're with us tonight. Glad we have all these smiling faces and folks here who have a great interest in your town government. Those of you who are watching at home on TV6, welcome, and we're glad you're here with us. Those of you who are watching on our website, lewisvillenc.net, and our streaming video, we're glad you're with us tonight. And those of you watching on Facebook, our streaming video there, we're glad you're with us as well. I will make one quick note. If you are interested in having the materials tonight that the council will be looking at on the matters that come before us, you'll go to lewisvillenc.net, click on Calendar of Events, Town Council, and there is a line there called PDF. Click on that, and you'll have all the materials that we are working on this evening if you want to play the game along with us. Very good. This evening we will begin our meeting, as always, with an invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation tonight will be led by our town attorney, Bill Houff, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Council Member Jeff Singer. Please stand if you're able.
Let us pray. God our Father, we know that you are the giver of every good and perfect gift, and for that we give you thanks. We give you thanks for this wonderful town in which we live. Give you thanks for its citizens. Give you thanks for this town council that leads us. Give you thanks for the staff and for those many volunteers who give their time freely for the betterment of the town. We ask your guidance in all things that happen this evening. Even though we may disagree from time to time, we know that we all care about this town and we come together in goodwill. And Father, at the end of this meeting, we ask your guidance and protection as we travel home safely. These many things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Very good. We'll begin our meeting as we generally do with our roll call of council members, starting all the way to my right.
Hi, I'm Jeff Singer. It's great to see so many folks here tonight.
Hello, I'm Ed Smith. Good evening.
Hello, I'm Sandra Mock.
And I'm Mike Horn.
Robert Green.
Ken Sadler.
And I'm Fred Franklin. It's a pleasure to serve as your council member.
Council, we have one addition to the agenda since our briefing, and it will appear under new business number 6, and we'll call it 6I. And it's a resolution to amend the agreement on the Williams Road Gateway project with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. And it's really just an update of the agreement that we have, an amendment that we had to enter into. Are there any other additions or changes to the agenda this evening? Ms. Walker?
No.
Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Very good. Mr. Smith makes the motion. Mr. Zinger makes the second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Mr. Manager, consent agenda to you.
This evening's consent agenda consists of 6 items. The first is Resolution 2017-029 for the acceptance and the approval of monthly financials for April 2017. Next is the approval of council briefing and action minutes from May 4th, 2017. The approval of council budget meeting minutes from May 4th, 2017. The approval of council meeting minutes from May 11th, 2017. The approval of council budget meeting minutes from May 22nd, 2017. And lastly, Resolution 2017-036, accepting the resignation of Suzanne Foley from the Lewisville Planning Board.
Ladies and gentlemen, the consent agenda are items that routinely come before the council. They include our minutes and our financials and certain activities that we do with our committee members. We generally take this as a group. However, any council member can ask for any one of these items to be removed from the consent agenda to be discussed individually, or we take them as an entire bunch. Council members, any items you wish to remove, or do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes the motion, Mrs. Mock makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. Okay, I've got to figure out how to get through this now because there's a lot of folks that we want to recognize tonight. It is my pleasure, I'll get down here where we've got the We have the microphone so the folks at home can hear. It's always my pleasure, on behalf of the council, to be able to recognize individuals in our community who have made contributions or have participated in our kind of activities that make our community such a great place to live. We have tonight, we're recognizing several members of our Student Leadership Committee. For those of you that don't know, our Student Leadership Committee is open to any 6th through 12th grader who lives in Lewisville. And it is a series of programs every month, and they learn about town government, they learn about community service, they learn about a number of things that have to do with making this community a better place and making them better citizens in our government. We had 20, and the Student Leadership Committee is led by Mrs. Joyce Walker and Ms. Stacy Howard and Ms. Pam Orell. Is that everybody that's involved? Who's the big dog? Stacy's the big dog, okay. Very good. And they do a great job with our kids. We had 24 students participating this year in our program. We have 6 graduating seniors, and we're going to recognize several of those tonight. I'll read their names, and then I'm going to ask a couple of them to come up here with me. Emma Dahl, Emily Gallman, Rebecca Galen, Chase Hill, who's dressed for the evening, Jorian Stevenson, and Ethan Thompson, who is our graduating senior, and he's been chair of the committee. Olivia Mock, how about coming up here too? And Chase, come on up here, buddy, if you would. 2 of our students were recognized for completing all of the requirements in the Leadership Development Program. Olivia, you and Emma were the 2 who did it this year, and let me present you officially the certificate which your mom gave me before the meeting to present to you. But let me present that to you, and thank you so much. You're such a great addition to our community, and you can tell that Mom and Dad do a great job at home because you're such a great kid, and we're so fortunate you're part of our community. So congratulations. Can we get a picture taken? And your mother's going to remind me in just a minute that I forgot to introduce the town staff. So when I get back up there, she'll nudge me and tell me that. Chase, congratulations. You have the distinction of being part of the Student Leadership Program for 7 years. So you started in 6th grade, and you've participated every year, and now you're graduating, and I hope the experience has been rewarding to you. Yep. Let me present you with a plaque, done for you by Ms. Joyce Walker, who does all these great things. And but Chase, we're so glad that you were able to participate in this program. I hope it was a rewarding experience. You're going off to where next year?
Scythe Tech.
For Scythe Tech. Very good. So you're going to stay close to home.
Yep.
Mom's cooking and doing your laundry?
Yep.
I understand. Okay. Well, Chase, on behalf of the town council, I'm pleased to recognize your accomplishment. Thank you. If you'll join me with a round of applause for these young people. And Mr. Franklin also reminded me I need to leave the mic up here so other people can come up and talk later. This is a tough job. I've got to tell you, there's a lot of stuff to remember.
It's a team effort. It's teamwork.
Also, as part of our introductions, let me introduce our town manager, Hank Perkins, our town attorney, Bo Houff. Back on the camera is Rachel Domenico, and she's our communications specialist and is making sure this meeting is broadcast out worldwide tonight. In the back is George Hauser, our public works director. Over here on my right is Ms. Joyce Walker, our town clerk, Ms. Pam Orell, who is our town finance director, and we also have with us Anna Leonard, who is our stand-in planner for another week, right? Okay.
Day.
Very good. Well, listen, thank you, staff, for being here. You're a big part of what we do and a big part of why we're able to have a great community. I also like to recognize, they aren't here with us this evening, but I'd also like to recognize, if you should see them driving their patrol cars around Lewisville, Deputy Chris Owen and Deputy Matt Mitchell. Both of them have achieved promotions in this last 30 days to Deputy 2. So that's an important recognition for them as they move up the chain in their leadership positions with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office and certainly with our community policing. Congratulations to both those. We're so pleased that they help keep our community safe. We have one presentation this evening. I'd like to introduce Michelle McCullough. She is with the City County Planning and also the coordinator for the Historic Resources Commission. Did I get it right? Come right up there. And Michelle, I want to recognize you two because you are soon to be the recipient of the St. Philip's Cedric S. Rodney Unity Award that's going to be presented to you for your contributions in historic preservation. So congratulations on that. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor, Town Council. I am very happy to be back in front of you in a more formal setting this time. Thank you for mentioning the award. It is a big honor to get recognized for the things you do, for actually the things you love to do. So this evening, I wanted to make sure all of you, the last time I was here, we were discussing how we're going to become more involved together, coming under the certified local government umbrella of the county and letting you guys have more autonomy over the historic resource operations, let me call them, that happen here in Lewisville instead of the county having them. And I think later you'll be hopefully voting approval of an interlocal agreement that goes over that. But I wanted to come tonight and make sure you all got a copy of this year's annual report from the Historic Resource Commission, so you can kind of see some of the things that they've done in the past year. Inside, it does have a calendar from this year's 2017 Historic Preservation Month, which was in May. And I have to say, it was one of my favorite years. And one of my favorite things that happened during May happened out in Roll Hall, and it's when I walked into their actual Historic Society's museum, and I saw Mary Kay and I saw a bunch of people from Lewisville, and that's when I started here in Forsyth County 14 years ago. That was one of my goals, is to get the communities more involved together so we know more, so we actually learn from each other. Everybody does something right and well, you know, and I don't ever invent new wheels. So that's not what I do. I like to share wheels and take spokes off and throw them to other people. And so, and Lewisville is just kind of one of our example communities because of all the activity you guys have going on here, the Nissen House and your markers that let people know about your heritage. So you're really ahead of the game in front of a lot of our other communities. But again, we want to learn from you, and we want you guys to learn anything you can from us. So hopefully we'll be seeing each other more of those three groups. And I just kind of wanted to come tonight and give you that. And next year, hopefully we'll have pictures of Lewisville events and things in here too. So thank you for letting me come this evening.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for coming out and being with us, and we look forward to our partnership as a member of the Historic Resources Commission. So that's going to be great fun. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up now to the first of our opportunities for you to address the council. There'll be two public forums, one now and one at the end of the meeting. And this is your time to address the council on any issue that's near and dear to your heart and you wish to share your thoughts with the council. There will be one additional opportunity to speak during the public hearing on the budget. So if you're here to speak on the public hearing on the budget, please hold your comments to that particular part of our meeting. But we'll go to our first public forum session right now. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak and address the council? Anybody wish to speak and address the council at this time? Very good. And we'll close our first opportunity for folks to speak. Again, there's forms in the back should you wish to leave written comments, and there's one more opportunity at the end of the meeting, so I know all of you will stay in your seats and anxiously await that opportunity to speak as well. Mr. Manager, we're on our public hearing for our budget. Please lead us through that.
Okay, I wanted to lead everyone through the high points on this year's proposed budget for fiscal year 17-18. The proposed budget for the general fund is $4,419,906. This is an increase over the prior year or the current year budget of 5.21%. This budget is, as proposed, does maintain the current tax rate of 17.7 cents per $100 of valuation. The budget is balanced using $58,416 in fund balance from the general fund, and it is worth noting that the fund balance appropriated is not paying for operational costs, but one-time costs and things that we want to try to achieve during the upcoming fiscal year. The town of Lewisville also is collecting a levy for a municipal service district. The proposed tax rate is unchanged for this service district at 4.5 cents per $100 evaluation. Forsyth County has completed and released new valuation numbers as part of a 4-year cycle. And according to the Forsyth County tax appraisers, the total tax value for the town of Lewisville for the upcoming year is estimated at $1,342,124,145. This is a gain of approximately 8.13%, or $163,580 in ad valorem revenue. And this next section is relevant because it talks about what has happened with the increase in ad valorem revenue from the revaluation. The town does have 4 capital reserve funds. Historically, annual appropriations to all of these funds have totaled $275,000 per year. In this budget, it is proposed to increase funding for 2 of the town's capital reserve funds. This budget proposes to commit the gains from increases to our proposed ad valorem tax revenues that I just discussed by adding $70,000 respectively to both the Stormwater Capital Reserve Fund and the Municipal Buildings Land Capital Reserve, for a combined increase of $140,000. Thus, proposed funding in this budget for all capital reserves is increased from $275,000 to $415,000. For town services, the town of Lewisville stays committed to the continuation of all of its existing services for the upcoming fiscal year, to include parks and recreation, finance, administration, planning and zoning, public works, residential, garbage and recycling, stormwater management, community policing, and beautification. All services are proposed to continue at current service delivery levels for the upcoming year. For the projects for the upcoming fiscal year, the town will continue its transportation planning for the Great Wagon Road, and also for the upcoming fiscal year, we will be engaging in planning activities related to anticipated sewer expansion in the basin of Tomahawk Creek. Additionally, the town is expected to begin design work on the Gateway project in the upcoming fiscal year, with right-of-way and construction work planned in future years. That's it for my summary.
Excellent. Any questions for the manager before we go into our public hearing? Very good. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll remind you once again, if you would like to see a complete copy of this budget, go to lewisvillenc.net, and I believe you'll find it there under Town Budget, probably, with the appropriate name. Mrs. Walker's nodding, so that's correct. With that, we will open the public hearing for our 2017-18 town budget. Any of you folks who wish to address the council in regards to the budget at this time, please come forward. Anybody wish to address the council on the budget? Everybody's thrilled. Well, thank you very much. I'll close the hearing before it changes. Okay. Council members, any comments?
Mike, I think it would be good if we let the folks know that we had multiple budget workshops. The manager just didn't present it to us as a council tonight. We've done a lot of due diligence, looked at every department, and arrived at what we have arrived at.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin, for that reminder, and that is true. We've had a lot of staff work that's gone into this, and a number of evening meetings that the council has gone over the budget and asked the questions, and hopefully we've made the wise decisions so that your tax dollars are used in the most effective way to continue to make Lewisville a wonderful community in which to live. Any other comments, council members?
My only comment would be is, I think Lewisville's been blessed with great leadership over the years, and that has really shown. But, we were hit with the downturn just like everybody else was, and there were folks that would raise taxes. They call it revenue neutral, but they would raise the taxes so that the government would do with no less. Well, right now with the new assessments, every municipality that did that, everybody's getting a tax increase. We didn't do that. We tightened our belts. Our staff really rose to the occasion, and so we're able to now, is this the 11th year? 18 will be the 11th year that we're at 17.7 for our tax rate. And we're, as you can see, as you go through Lewisville, there's constantly new projects. All those projects are paid for. And so I just want the folks out here and at home and everybody to know that these folks here on this council worked really hard for many years so that we could be in this spot. And these staff folks have done an excellent job. And we tightened our belt and we didn't lose anything. And now we have the opportunity to put $415,000 into our capital reserve funds, which means we can continue to do projects in Lewisville and be able to just pay for them. It's a great spot to be in. So I am very enthusiastic with this budget, and I am really proud of everybody that worked on it. And really, it's not been just a one-year deal. This has been years and years.
Thank you, Mr. Zinger. Any other comments, council members? I do want to kind of add a little bit to Mr. Zinger's comments. Today, we have approximately $7 million of cash in the bank. We have a budget of $4.2 million, $4.3 million, give or take a little bit. But we have reserves either in restricted accounts that are going to be applied to capital projects that you've talked about, you can see in the budget, plus additional cash available in our general fund to be able to do the kinds of things in town that continue to make us a community that people love coming home to at the end of the day. $7 million is a lot of smackers, and we've worked hard over the years to accumulate that. Now, it can also, as Mr. Zinger points out on numerous occasions, we can spend a lot of that in a hurry when we start talking about projects like sewer and community center and roads and those types of things. But I hope your folks, and I'll echo Mr. Zinger's comments, appreciate the fact that we've worked very hard to build up a cash reserve like that so that we're in a great position to move our community forward. Any other comments, council members? With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion, Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Probably one of the most important pieces of business that we'll do this year on behalf of our residents. All right, we move into new business at this point. Anna, are you going to lead us through our preliminary site plan review for Woodview Estates? Please.
Good evening. I believe you all have in front of you a copy of the site plan for Woodview Estates. Just a brief overview of the project. It is 66 proposed lots of the subdivision. The zoning isn't changing. It's RS20. It will remain RS20, which allows for a lot size of 20,000 square feet per lot, and the average lot size is 34,240 square feet per lot. So they're actually a little above what they could be. This was reviewed by the Technical Review Committee on April 25th. Any changes that came from that based on the UDO were submitted and thus changed afterwards. The Planning Board first reviewed it on the 26th, I believe, of April. Thank you, Joyce. And saw any questions, then held public comment period on May 10th to hear any citizen concerns. There are 2 exemptions that have been asked for in this. One is to bypass the Chesterfield Road connectivity. That was done based on constructed improvements. That is an exemption they can ask for and you can approve or deny. Those improvements are stormwater improvements that were done by the adjacent property owner that would be wiped out pretty much if that was constructed. The second is to reduce the block length on Atlas Heights Way. Our UDO requires a 600 to 1,200 length. Theirs is about 500. This was done to design. It led to not have a perfectly straight line, which we don't want. We don't want people racing down the road, so it actually increases safety, although that block length is a little shorter. So tonight you're charged with passing this ordinance. The next steps after this, before the final plat, will be they have 2 years to submit for final plat review. That includes getting certifications on street improvements, utilities, and environmental ordinances, which I know a lot of our citizen comments were concerned about. So that includes an erosion control plan and things like that, stormwater. Also traffic signs and subdivision phasing if that so happens. So everything will be followed as Chapter D, Section 4 for final plats. And so that's a brief overview. I think you got a lot of that during the briefing earlier this month, but I'm happy to answer any questions or any concerns.
Thank you, Anna. Council members, any questions for Anna? No questions. With that, we will entertain a motion to approve the preliminary site plan.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? I do want to point out that this is a preliminary site plan approval. There are still other hoops to jump through with the health department and a number of other folks as they move forward in this development, so there may be some modifications based upon what they find, but this takes it off our desk right now and moves the project forward. Very good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen, for your investment in our community. I think this is going to be a very nice project, and thank you for showing faith in Lewisville that we have the ability for you all to come and build a wonderful project in a great neighborhood, and that you show your faith in us that we'll be a great community for your residents to live in. Thank you. Very good. Mrs. Walker, we're going to move on to you for our order to collect 2017 taxes.
We do this, this is an ordinance that we have to pass every year in order to have the county tax assessor collect taxes for the town.
Very good.
And there are going to be two. One is for 2017 taxes, and the other ordinance is for 2016 and 10 years back.
Council members, any question for Mrs. Walker? Do we have a motion?
So move. On 23.
And we do need a second?
Second.
Very good. Mr. Franklin makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that passes. Do we have a motion for 2017-024, which is 2016 and past taxes?
Motion to approve 024.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion, Ms. Mock makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That is also passed. Hank, we're up to you for our interlocal agreement between Forsyth County and the town of Lewisville.
Yes, this resolution 2017030, once it's adopted, will solidify our relationship that Ms. Michelle McCullough spoke to during her comments, and does give us our participation with the HRC as being a certified local government community. And eventually, when we have some representation vacancy on the board, we will be able to have an appointment for that from someone from our community. And then lastly, as we described, it can serve as a conduit for grant opportunities for historic preservation in Lewisville.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for the manager? Very good. I do want to recognize two of our members of our Nissen House and Historical Committee in town. Ladies, thanks for being here with us tonight. I know this is of interest to you. No further discussion. We'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Ms. Mock makes the motion, Mr. Green makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that passes unanimously. Pam, you're up with newsletter printing.
We have Resolution 2017031, authorizing the contract for the printing of the newsletter in 2017-18. And that contract amount is $11,938.50 for the entire year.
Any questions for Ms. Orell?
Excuse me, that amount again one more time, please. I missed it.
$11,938.50.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Mock makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that passes unanimously. Mr. Hauser, I believe you're up for ground maintenance services contract and the next two items.
You have before you the Resolution 2017033, awarding the grounds maintenance services contract to Yards by Us for the fiscal year 2017 through 18 through fiscal year 2019, 2020. This is for all the locations here in town, and it is for 36 months.
Any questions for Mr. Hauser? Not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 033.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion, Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. George, you're up again.
All right.
Next, we have Resolution 2017034, awarding plant bed maintenance services contract to Yards by Us. And this is also a 36-month contract.
Any questions from Mr. Hauser?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Franklin makes the motion, Mr. Zinger makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. And your final one, George?
Resolution 2017035, awarding neighborhood street sweeping services to McCoy's Services Incorporated for fiscal years 2017 through 2018 through 2019 to 2020, another 36-month contract in the amount of $15,496 per year.
Council, any questions from Mr. Hauser?
Mayor, before we take this one, I'd like to, in essence, back up 2 steps and be clear for the public that this price that are being stated is not for 36 months. That is for 12 months, but the price is good for 3 years. I'll be clear about that.
Yeah. That's very good.
Thank you for that clarification.
I'd also like to add too, and correct me if I'm wrong, George, but this is also part of our stormwater management
Yes, sir.
requirement.
That's correct.
So,
Very good. Thank you, council members. Any further discussion? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
second.
Mrs. Mock makes the motion, Mr. Smith makes the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you, that's unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen at home and in the audience, I'll say that we moved through these items relatively quickly. This is not the first time your council has seen them. We've been briefed on these prior to this meeting. We've had a week to consider them, ask any questions, come back and clarify points that we want more information on. So we're moving through quickly this evening, but this is not the first time we've seen them, not the first time your council has considered these in detail. Except this next one, which we haven't seen. Mr. Manager?
This is an amendment, a resolution that will amend our agreement with the state of North Carolina for the Williams Road Gateway Project. In discussions with the DOT after we took care of it the first time, it became evident that we needed to add a little bit more clarity to the scope of work to make sure that everybody understood on both the town side and the state of North Carolina the exact scope of the projects and the outcomes to be expected.
Great, this was just a clarification of the contract and the awarded funding that we've already received.
Yes, sir. We just added some more detail to the scope of work.
Great. Now, will this includes curb and gutter to the second, from our circle at from our circle at Shallowford Road and coming through, the work continues all the way to the traffic circle just past the gas station.
The curb and gutter will continue on through the exchange and go all the way through the roundabout exchange at Concord Church and Williams Road.
Very good.
On the Liberty side.
Very good. So
Yes.
we have both sides of the bridge, and we
Yes.
have curb and gutter sidewalk.
Yep, and then from the Shallowford Road roundabout to the 421, what I refer to the 421 North interchange, it will be a 3-lane wide profile with sidewalks on both sides of the street, some other amenities. At that point, the widening won't happen because there's not anything to widen between the two roundabouts of the bridge. And it will pick up sidewalk on one side of the road at that point for connectivity to the sidewalk that was installed on the bridge.
Great, thank you. Council, any questions for the manager? I'm sure we won't have any drainage problems on this project because we know how to deal with those. Yes. Very good. Any further discussion? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 021.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes the motion, Mr. Zinger makes the second. Further discussion, council? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that is unanimous. Hank, I believe you're bringing us up to date on events at Shallowford Square.
Okay, starting on Friday, the 16th of June, we're going to have movie night, and I believe we're doing E.T. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And then moving to the 24th, which is Saturday, we will have our 3rd annual street party and food truck festival. And then I'll take it down to the 4th of July, where the square and the town will be the host of our annual Independence Day celebration.
Terrific. 10,000 of our closest friends.
That's correct.
Excellent. Excellent. I do want to make a note, this afternoon, Lewisville Elementary School 5th grade class held their graduation commencement exercises at the square. I had the privilege of representing our council there, and it was quite an event. That was great seeing these young men and women as they matriculate, I think that's the right word, on to 6th grade, and they'll be moving on to Jefferson and Haynes and Summit Paisley and
Meadowlark.
Meadowlark. Okay, very good. So they'll be leaving our community, but their hearts, of course, will always stay here. Pam, I believe you have a number of projects to bring us up to date of actions we took at our briefing meeting on Thursday.
At the briefing a week ago, you took action and approved the following ordinances. Ordinance 2017-019, this amended budget ordinance 2016-015, and allowed us to transfer the amounts remaining in the Harper Road Lift Station Capital Projects Fund and the Lewisville-Vienna Road Sidewalk Extension Capital Projects Fund to the new Gateway Project Capital Projects Fund. Then you passed or approved ordinance 2017-021. This transferred the balance of $1,244.33 from the Harper Road Lift Station Capital Project to the Gateway Project Capital Projects Fund and closed the Harper Road Lift Station Capital Projects Fund. Then you passed ordinance 2017-022. This transferred the balance of $172,145.23 from the Lewisville-Vienna Road Sidewalk Extension Capital Projects Fund to the new Gateway Project Capital Projects Fund, and thus closed the Lewisville-Vienna Road Sidewalk Extension Capital Projects Fund. Then you passed ordinance 2017-025. This amended our sidewalks, bike paths, and greenways capital reserve fund to transfer $125,546.44 to the new Gateway Project Capital Projects Fund. And then you passed ordinance 2017-026. This amended budget ordinance 2016-015 in the amount of $125,546.44, transferring funds from the sidewalks, bike paths, and greenways capital reserve fund to the new Gateway Project Capital Projects Fund. And then we have two other ordinances that you approved related to the stormwater repairs capital project. Ordinance 2017-027, amended budget ordinance 2016-015 to transfer amounts remaining in the stormwater repairs capital project fund to the stormwater capital reserve fund. And that amount was $23,682.48. And lastly, ordinance 2017-028, and this closed the stormwater repairs capital project fund.
Very good. For those of you who haven't glazed over or left for the refrigerator, I do want to say that these are actions we did take at our briefing to move funding around in our accounts. A lot of it was pretty much bookkeeping and cleaning up accounts and making sure we had the right amount in the various accounts that we need to have to move forward with our capital reserve projects. We do report them out at our meetings because anytime we do deal with money or a significant issue, we want to be sure that those are part of the minutes and the record at our regular council meeting. Another action that we took is the council.
Mike?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. On the ordinance 2017-26, just like to be clarified that we did not close out the sidewalks, bikes, paths, greenways capital reserve fund. That fund is still out there. We still can put money into it. We just did transfer some money out of it for this other project.
Exactly. Thank you for that clarification, Mr.
Yeah.
Franklin. That's important. In fact, I think we are making a $25,000 deposit into that capital reserve account in this year's budget? Yes. The $25,000? Great. Very good. An additional action we took at briefing was council was wholeheartely in support and passed a resolution of support for the nomination of Mrs. Joyce Walker to the North Carolina Association of Clerks. Is that close enough?
Yes.
Municipal clerks, thank you, for Clerk of the Year. So we wish you the best of luck, and no matter what happens, you're always Clerk of the Year in our hearts. So we'll see what happens. We'll know over the next couple of months.
Thank you.
Very good. We're now at the point in our meeting where we have the second opportunity for the public to address the council on issues that may be of importance to you. Share your thoughts with the council. If there's anybody in the chamber at this point who would like to come forward and address the council, please do so at this time. Anybody at all? Very good. Thank you for being here. Council members, closing comments. Very good. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the work that we did this week.
Mr. Mayor.
This was an important week for us. We had of course, every week is important when we do your business.
Waving his hand at you.
We have a hand? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, were you going to say something about the call for project cycle?
I was going to say something for the call to projects. That's why we have all these people around me to remind me of why I need to say something.
Team effort.
Team effort. I'm not going to get us bogged down in how the state goes about prioritizing projects for municipalities and for the division level of the Department of Transportation. Suffice to say that we have just completed round 4.0, and in that, of course, we submitted our Great Wagon Road project. I'm still optimistic that there is going to be some money found for that project in 4.0. The state legislature, the House has approved $30 million additional dollars for the budget to go to small municipalities like us, so that we have an opportunity for some additional funding in 4.0. I'm not saying that we have it, but I'm saying that we have another little shot at it. 5.0, believe it or not, has already started, and we've been asked to submit projects. Council, I'd like to ask for your kind of approval to go ahead and develop some projects primarily in categories that are other than would be competing with our Great Wagon Road project. These would be categories like sidewalks, intersection improvements, greenways, those types of things. So as we submit projects as part of 5.0, we still are, if our Great Wagon Road is not funded, it'll still move forward. But I don't think we should be putting any projects in there that potentially could be ranked higher than the GWR, because I think as a council, we decided that was our number one priority project. So with your indulgence and approval, the manager will come up with a list of projects that potentially we can submit, and we will get back to you with a report on July 4th? No, 4th.
It's a little awkward on the timing. It was a very short notice on this, and I believe we got the call for projects notification after we had finished meeting this last week. The due date for this is July 5th, which is be the day after the July 4th holiday, and it will be before the time we meet at the next briefing. But I do understand from my conversations with the MPO and Mr. Fred Haith that any of the action as a part of the application process that is required from the council is not due until August. So what we could do is that once we get the application in for the proposed project going forward with it, if sometime during review at briefing, if council doesn't feel good about the project that had been chosen and submitted, or the projects chosen and submitted for 5.0, we can always walk them back.
Very good, thank you. Any objections, council? Great, thank you. Additional comments this evening? Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching at home. Thank you for participating on Facebook, all 7 of you. Those of you who joined us in the chambers tonight, thank you all for being here. It's always good to see you and have you be part of your town government. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Zinger makes the motion, Ms. Mock makes the second. Any further discussion? With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you, we're adjourned.